Hello friends, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is gonna be a good one. You guys, I have been filming this video for months. Literally, it's taken me months to film this because we're doing multiple tanners. We're getting down, we're doing all the nitty gritty of these different self tanners. I think I may have found one that I like more than my BondiSands. So many good formulas, you guys. I'm so glad that I branched out and tried something new because I love my BondiSands and I feel like it's a great base of where I can start and what I'm really looking for because I like a formula that dries down. I like to be ultra dark, obviously a streak-free tan, just an enjoyable tan if that makes sense. And then I want it to last at least 6 days. Like I want to look really good for 6 days. Normally I work out every single day, so obviously there are different areas where, you know, sports bra, under the arms, hands. If I'm doing a lot of planks, it'll wear off on my elbows a little bit. I'm not going to dock points on the self tanners for that in the fading category, mostly because, you guys, I'm just being realistic. Like if I'm working out all the time, obviously between sweating and wearing a sports bra, it's going to break down in the areas that I'm wearing my workout clothes. I'm okay with that. But you guys, I have tried some really good self tanners and I'm so glad to have them in my self tanning collection because I've gotten some beautiful tans and some not so great tans. Before we jump into this video, if this is content that you guys like to see, if you like the self tanner reviews, don't forget to hit that thumbs up. A little like goes a really long way and I so appreciate it. Don't forget to subscribe because it really supports my channel, and if you hit that little notification bell, you'll never miss another video with this girl right here. Lots more self tanner videos coming up. We got a lot of fun fall videos coming at ya because, you guys, I'm loving it. Loving it. Loving it. If you guys have any video suggestions, leave them in the comments down below because I love to hear from you. And without further ado, let's jump into this video. All right, you guys, so I'm gonna be ranking all of these self tanners. We only did 4 today because I wanted to do only ultra dark formulas. I wanted to do only mousses, things that should dry down. That way it was fair all the way across the board. I think I did really well with that, so I'm excited about that. I only did 4, one because that's already a long time, but also with a few of the formulas, I did them with 1 coat because the bottle specifies only 1 coat, and then I did them with 2 coats if I felt like they didn't get dark enough. So without further ado, let's jump into which self tanner is the lowest on my rating list. This was actually a really hard decision for me, you guys. I'm actually looking at all of them sitting here and I am still second guessing myself if this is the correct order, but as of right now, this is the correct order in what I think are the best to worst, or just what worked the best, what lasted the longest on me and my body and what I like and what I'm looking for. So some of these tanners you guys might love, and that's great. I feel like different self tanners and different products work different for everybody. So these are just what worked best for me, my body, what lasted the longest on me. Yeah. Okay, so at the bottom of my list is the Coco Eve Ultra Dark. So first of all, you guys, this came open and spilled and mess, and it like completely messed up the whole box of products that I got, which already kind of gave it a ding because it was literally disgusting, like all over the packaging, and it got all over my hands. It's still getting all over my hands. All right, so first things first, this Coco Eve is an ultra dark formula. It is $35 for 6.7 ounces. It applied beautifully. It glided on the skin beautifully. I didn't feel like I was streaky. It gave me a really beautiful color. This claims that it's lightweight, non-sticky formula with a green-gray base for natural looking golden glow with no orangey tones, fast drying, and develops in 2 hours. Now I didn't realize that this said 2 hours, so I only did 1 coat because it does not say anywhere on here to apply 2 coats. It says you can get ultra dark in 2 hours. So first things first, this doesn't dry down, and not quickly anyway. For one coat, it took this formula at least 2 hours to dry down. So for me, I was very sticky with this formula. For transfer, I'm gonna give it a 3 out of 5 because it did stay tacky for a long time, and I do feel like I had transfer on clothes. I had to have a towel down because I was definitely having transfer with this formula. It definitely has more of a green undertone to give you that olivey undertone. It's actually the tanner that I'm wearing right now. It's been about 5 days and I really feel like it's starting to wear off on my underarms, and my legs are starting to lose the tan. And I have not worked out once since using this, and because of that, I've showered less. You know what I mean? So I feel like I've done less in this tanner, so I feel like this tanner should last longer, if that makes sense. I did only apply one coat all over. It did not burn my face. It didn't break me out. That it gets points for, so 5 out of 5 on that. The color, I'd say gets, with one coat, I'd say it gets about a 3 out of 5 for the color. It smelled 5 out of 5%. I sat in this formula for 7 hours and, you know, I got a good tan out of it, but it wasn't ultra dark. And if I only sat in it for 2 hours, you know what I mean? I feel like for one coat, I feel like if I'd have done 2 coats and sat in it for the 7 hours, I would have been darker and the tan would have lasted longer. However, it's a 2-hour formula, so I'm gonna try this formula again this week. I'm gonna include it in the part 2 of this Self Tanner Showdown because I'm gonna do the 1-hour formulas, the 2-hour formulas. I'm gonna put those together for you. So stay tuned for this guy because it might bump up on my ratings list, but as of right now with these ultra dark formulas, this is lower on my list just because I felt like the tan didn't last. I really enjoyed the color of this when it first developed, so I gave it a 5 out of 5 for color. It was definitely more of an olivey undertone. I did not feel like I got orange. It does have a color guard. The color guard was really light. I did feel like I got a little bit of that body odor, so I'd say like 4 out of 5 for the body odor. And really it just like right under my underarms the next morning before I took a shower, I felt like I had a little bit of that, you know, self tanner body odor, but not bad. So I feel like this formula for sure has potential. However, with one coat, this faded faster than my other formulas. So for me, this is at the bottom of my list, but that means that I've got some really good formulas here, you guys, because if this is still really good and it's at the bottom, that means we've got some really good stuff coming. That's Coco and Eve, but hang in there because I'm gonna do 2 coats in the next video and we're gonna do it for an express tan. So we'll do 2 coats for an express tan and we'll see how she does, because it says ultra dark 2 hours. Can you hold up? Can you hold up to that? We'll find out. Stay tuned. Moving on to the Loving Tan Bronzing Mousse formula in the Ultra Dark. Now this by far is the most expensive tanner in the lineup. It is $40 for 4 ounces. Wowzas, that's really expensive for self tanner. So I was really expecting to be wowed with this. Again, this formula does not say that you need 2 coats. So the first time I applied, this will be the first coat. I applied 1 coat all over, you know, face all the way down. It applied beautifully. It dried down really fast. The color is very red. I don't mind that. I do prefer more of an olive undertone. This definitely has more of a red undertone for sure. Like you can see that in the color guide and everything. But I'll give the color a 4 out of 5. I do prefer more of an olive undertone. However, I do like the color of this self tanner. I feel like it looks natural on me. Color guard, I'll give it a 5 out of 5. Yes, it has a color guard, but it's not too dark. I actually really love the color guard in this formula. 1, there is no transfer. I was so surprised, you guys. I did 1 coat. 5 minutes later, I sat down on a white towel and there was very, very minimal transfer after 5 minutes, okay? I was very dry to the touch, very comfortable. Loved that about it. Application, I'm gonna give it a 5 out of 5. It was super smooth. It went on, no streaks, didn't stick to any dry patches. It applied really beautifully. Absolutely loved it. I'm gonna give the scent a 5 out of 5. It has a really light and clean scent. It's not something that's like, ooh, I smell delicious, but I also don't smell disgusting. Like, you know, that really strong self tanner smell. Doesn't have it. I feel like it was just really clean, really fresh, which was really nice. It was very enjoyable. But with 1 coat coat, you guys, this didn't get dark enough for me. It for sure was not ultra dark with one coat. So here's 2 coats. You know, I did the first coat, I waited 30 minutes, and then I did the second coat with all of these tans. I followed the protocol, you guys. I did it for you. And again, this formula dried down so fast. So 5 out of 5 for that for sure, you guys. Very minimal transfer, even with the 2 coats. Love that. And I think it's because the bronzer guide is there, but it's so minimal. It's not really dark. Longevity. The 1 coat still lasted, I'd say 6-7 days. It was beautiful. So I'll give that a 5 out of 5. The fade, I'll give a 5 out of 5. I don't feel like it broke up in any weird areas, so that was really nice. Even with the 2 coats, I'd say it lasted a solid 6 days, 6-7 days before I was like, yeah, it's time to tan again. It was very average with that fade and the time and everything. But also, I was working out every single day and this lasted way longer. However, it's a very red formula and the price of it is just, it's too much for me. $40, especially if you have to use 2 coats. I mean, I only use this twice, you guys, and it's halfway gone. For me, it's too expensive for the size of bottle. If it was $40 for the 6 ounces or the 6.7 ounces, I'd probably use it more often. However, I won't be repurchasing this because I've got other tanners that are better and that I like the color of better, you know what I mean, for less of a cost. And this girl likes a good deal. So if I can find a great formula that's less expensive than this, if you guys like a red undertone and the money doesn't bother you, you guys, this is an excellent formula. It dries down beautifully. I love that. I love that about this. You could easily sleep in this formula because it dries down. There's minimal transfer. It's an absolutely beautiful formula. It's a great color, great formula, just a little bit too expensive for this girl right here. So let's move on to the next one. Okay, this is where we're getting a little, I don't know, you guys. Okay. Runner up is the BondiSands Aero Ultra Dark. Okay, I honestly went into this, you guys, thinking that this was gonna be like the one that I was gonna be like, oh, you guys, did you guys even have to guess? Like, this was gonna be my favorite? But honestly, you guys, first things first, let's talk about the price of this. This is the best deal that you will get. First of all, it's $29 for 7.6 ounces. This is the best bang for your buck. Shout out to BondiSands because this is a beautiful formula. The color of this is a 5 out of 5. It's definitely more of that green undertone, so you get that beautiful olivey undertone. Love that about this formula. It does have a color guard. Now I'm gonna give this color guard a 3 out of 5. In the past, I would have said it's a 5 out of 5, it's not a big deal, it's a color guard. But after trying these other formulas where they have color guards, but they're not so intense and they don't transfer, this color guard is so intense. And I was like, oh, it's only that intense because it's ultra dark. Yeah, but the color guard doesn't need to be this intense. It's really intense. And this is an Aero formula, so it's supposed to dry down. If you do 1 coat, it dries down really quickly. I'd say still 30 minutes before this one fully dries down. And then if you do 2 coats, it's a few hours before you're fully dried down. If I'm gonna sleep in this formula, I use the BondiSands powder and I set my hands and my feet and my neck area, and then I still have to sleep on a sheet and it will still transfer onto my pillow. So the transfer on this, I'd give it a 2 out of 5 if I'm 100% honest, especially after trying those other formulas. The transfer of this one is not my favorite. I wish that they would just lower the bronzer guide just a hair or a lot even, because you don't need it. It doesn't need to be that intense. Like, you'll see I am like, it's dark. It almost looks patchy because of how dark the bronzer guide is. It doesn't come out patchy. It's beautiful. It's a beautiful tan, but the color guard is just, I'm not a fan. Not a fan, especially after all of these formulas. I feel like Bondi, I think we can lower the Self Tanner guide just a hair and it'll still be really amazing. The fade is beautiful. I give it a 5 out of 5. I don't get weird and patchy streaks. Again, it'll wear in the areas where I have my sports bra and around my watch and around my hands, the usual suspect areas. Totally fine. I don't mark it down for that. This will last anywhere from 6 to 10 days. Love it. This one really just lasts a long time on my body. I'm gonna give this application a 4 out of 5. I do love the foam. However, However, it's a very stiff foam, and if you put a little bit too much on your mitt, it will fall off. It's not a soft, like if you can see the other formulas, they're almost more like light and whipped and airy, and this is like, it's like a mousse, like a foam mousse that you put in your hair, so it's very thick and dense. And because of that, it's very easy to touch your skin and then the rest of it fall off on the ground. So definitely stand on a towel or something when you're applying this. However, the scent is gorgeous, 5 out of 5. It smells like coconut. It's just delicious. For me, I don't get a body odor with this. I was very meticulous about like, okay, do I smell? Okay, do I smell now? Do I smell now? I think a little bit the next day if I haven't like fully rinsed it off, because honestly, I'll like lightly rinse off that night because I want my tan to stay as long as possible. So I'm just getting all the bronzer guide off. So I get a little bit of BO the next day, so I would say body odor 4 out of 5. And then the transfer, because this has such an intense bronzer guide, the transfer is a 3 out of 5. All of them transfer a little bit. This one transfers the most, and it's because it doesn't fully dry down until like 2 hours. However, it washes out beautifully. I've never had a problem. It's always washed out of my sheets. It's always washed out of my clothes, but it does transfer. It transfers because it has such a strong bronzer guide. So if they could lower the bronzer guide, this would be my love, and maybe make the foam just like a little less dense. Just a little bit. But this is getting like super picky, super nitty gritty. And it's because, you guys, I use this one the most and I rave about it the most. So I'm also being the hardest on this one because I've tried some other products that I'm really loving. So love the color, love how long it lasts. I just love it. It's a great experience. I just wish the bronzer guide was a little bit less. Bondi, I'll never give you up. You know how much I love you. You know. All right, are you guys ready? Are you guys ready for the number one? The number one. What's the best ultra dark self tanner? Bali Body, you guys. Okay, seriously, I was not expecting this. I don't know. I've seen reviews. It said it was ultra dark. Like the pictures look amazing. I don't know. I didn't know what to expect when I got this. Let's start from the beginning. Okay, so $30.95, so $31 we'll say, for 6.7 ounces. Now this does say on the bottle, for the darkest tan, use 2 coats. So I did the first time around. I applied it. It's beautiful. It's so beautiful. Okay, the color is a 5 out of 5. Absolutely love the color. It wasn't too red, it wasn't too green. It was just beautiful. I absolutely loved the color. Yes, there was a color guard, but 5 out of 5 for the color guard because it had a color guard, but it wasn't so intense. Like as you can see, it's there. You can tell where you're putting the tanner. However, I do have to say, the one thing about this, the one thing is it doesn't dry down. It didn't really dry down at all for me. I did do 2 coats. I waited the 30 minutes in between the 2 coats. I'm gonna give the transfer a 3 out of 5 because it never fully dried down and it does have a bronzer guide. So obviously there's gonna be some kind of a transfer. I stayed sticky, but 5 out of 5 for application. It was so smooth. Like I have it in my notes that it was so smooth and that I absolutely loved the feeling of it. I loved that it was just so easy, so streak free, and I put it on my mitt and it just like glided on my skin. Loved it. The scent was light and refreshing, nothing overwhelming, which is something I actually really enjoyed about it. The Coco and Eve was really scented, like my whole office smelled like the Self Tanner, which it was a good scent, so it wasn't that bad, but I enjoyed the fact that this wasn't overly scented. It was just light and fresh. I did not get body odor, so 5 out of 5, no body odor with this one, not while it was tanning, not afterwards. It was beautiful. The longevity. Okay, first of all, I put this one through the ringer. I put this tanner on. The next day I went to the pool, hung out in the pool with Liv because I wasn't going to. I knew I was filming this video and I was like, no, I need to give them all a fair shot, and sitting in the pool will ruin your tan. But Liv was like crying. She wanted me to go in the pool and I was like, okay, you know what? Tanner's not worth it. I'm gonna go in the pool with my kid. Hung out in the pool with my kid. I worked out a bunch the week that I used this, so I showered more often than I normally do. I shaved my legs twice using this, and it still lasted 10 days. Yes, I had to touch up around my hands. My hands really broke up pretty bad, but that's normal. I wash my hands all the time, and I've been working a lot of weddings, so I'm washing my hands a lot. So I just buffed it off my hands, put a little bit of a no color guard self tanner on my hands, and it was fine. My body, my legs, everything was still really tan 10 days out. That's magic. I love that. The longevity, 6 out of 5, 10 out of 10. This one lasted the longest on my body. This did not burn my face. It did not break me out. I did 2 coats on my face and it was fine. It looked beautiful. I have a note in my phone that says that it did settle into my pores just a touch. All of my Ultra Dark formulas do that. That is why I tan 1 to 2 days before I do some kind of a photo shoot or I'm filming, because I want to be able to wash my face a couple times just to make my face look a little bit less intense. But I like putting 2 coats on my face because it lasts longer, because I wash my face way more than I wash my body. So for me, it doesn't bother me. I don't mind putting self tanner on my face. I exfoliate all the time, thus it wears away on my face faster, but on my body and everything, this tanner was just a 10 out of 10. I love the color. It was a beautiful color. It lasted forever and it's an excellent price for the amount of product. Absolutely love it. If you guys have not tried the Bali Body Ultra Dark and you are an Ultra Dark fan, she may be your girl. Get her at Ulta. I've got all these products listed in the description box down below. Know that those are affiliate links, you guys, and if you choose to purchase any of these products through those links, I do get a very, very small commission, which I always put back into this channel for the camera, for all the things. So if you would like to try any of these products, I would really appreciate it if you guys use my links down below. It really supports me and it really helps me out. If this was content that you guys like to see, don't forget to hit that thumbs up and subscribe because it really supports my channel. Don't forget, a little like goes a long way in the YouTube algorithm and this girl could use it. So don't forget to hit that like button. If you hit that little notification bell, you'll never miss another video with this girl right here. I would so appreciate it. I would love to have you join the fam. That is it today for this very in-depth Self Tanner Showdown. There were some surprises. Were you surprised? I was surprised. I was really surprised. I was not expecting to love something more than my BondiSands, you guys. If you guys have any other self tanners that you want me to try or that I need to try, know that your girl likes Ultra Dark tan. Please leave your suggestions down below. I do have Tanned AF on the list. I've got more 1-hour formulas. Stay tuned for part 2 of Self Tanner Showdown because I've got more self tanners coming your way. That's it for today's video. I really hope you guys enjoyed it and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.